The Tower card, it is all about unexpected change. Oh, I didn't expect it and it happened. It's kind of like everything is breaking down. This is the positive, constructive changes happening into your life for the new start to get born into your life. We need to adapt. To adapt very, very quickly, we have to develop that level of flexibility within us. It's actually also an interesting world. So one door closed, another door opened. Why it happened? Because I was able to adapt. Whenever this power of nature, that thunderbolt comes to your life, everything crashes. In this moment, you have to be adaptable. Hello, beautiful souls. So today we will be talking about the Tower. The Tower card, when it is perceived from the immature perspective, it is all about unexpected change. Oh, I didn't expect it and it happened. And then it's kind of like everything is breaking down. But when we come back to that card from a very mature perspective, very mature position in our life, when we were thoroughly prepared to that card by overcoming all our hell within us and clearing out all the addictions within us, then this is a natural continuation because we started that cleanse process within us. We started working out with all our bondages, addictions, and obviously these bondages should break. And this is the positive, constructive changes happening into your life so that you would be able to clean the space for the new start to get born into your life, right? Well, that's why this card has such a contradictory set of opinions around it. So when it is unexpected, we kind of like have to say yes to those unexpected changes. And when they happen, we need to adapt. To adapt very, very quickly, we have to develop that level of flexibility within us. Otherwise, we will not be able to survive those changes. Now, let me give you the example. For example, I want to share you this small story in my life. I was working in a big corporation under the name Deloitte. It's the world auditing tax consultant company. Those who are into the tax and audit world, they know this company, Deloitte. And I remember that I was like an intern there. Then they promoted me to some kind of assistant of a second level, third level, but still the practice of Deloitte is that they hire students and they hire them, giving them lots and lots of learnings, but paying them that small amount of money which you receive in exchange for all what you do. You have lots of learning, but you are being paid like much less than average person on the market, even with your level of expertise. That's what happened to me, and I couldn't already withstand it. I was working too hard, and I remember I was living with a girl, sharing the apartment with her, and she said, Yulia, I just have to move to another apartment, and that apartment costs that much. I cannot live already in those conditions where we are currently living, and our apartment was not really the nicest apartment ever, and that amount of money which I usually allocated to that apartment for my budget, it was much more than what I could allocate because she planned to move to a really bad apartment. And so the budget for that, I remember it increased like around 50% or something like this. And I just couldn't really afford it. And she said, Yulia, just take the decision. Either you move with me or you start living alone. Starting living alone also impossible because it's already to be better to live even with her because it would be even cheaper. But even with this cheaper variant, I couldn't afford it. Now I am standing here in front of the decision, what should I do? And that decision, which I had to prolong for a while, either to stay in Deloitte or to move out to the market to some bit more higher payable position, it was literally taken for me. I was withholding myself from taking that decision for a while, but then guess what? The Tower crushed. And it was just like that statement from my friend, and she said, Yulia, just decide. You either take it or I leave. And I just like, okay, I will, let's have an agreement. Let's leave like next month, like we are leaving today. During the month, I will do my absolute best to find another job. And guess what? I found it in the end of the day. I just adapted to the situation. And the interesting thing was that door with Deloitte closed for me. I was linked to that continuous learning, learning process. They hook you through that education. And it's amazing for all those like young people who are working for them in all those assistance positions, growing, they show the ladder of growth and everything, but they underpay them on those lower positions a lot. So in this case, this closed door opened for me another another world of opportunities, and I found a beautiful analytical position in a credit insurance world, and I realized, oh, it's actually also an interesting world. So one door closed, another door opened. And why it happened? Because I was able to adapt. Now, let's analyze this card. We can see the tower. It's crashed by the thunderbolt. So we can see like the independence sign, even like the flag, it's also being crashed. So like your whole independence in this world, you understand that you kind of like all your world is crushing, it's crumbling, and you see that everything is crashing and everyone are thrown to a river of life, right? So nobody can find the saving here. So it is just not possible. It is that crazy card. It doesn't matter which kind of achievements you had in previous stages of your life. Whenever this power of nature, that thunderbolt just comes to your life, everything crashes. In this moment, you have to be adaptable. You have to be plastic. You have to be changing and flexible. Only in this case, you will be able to learn something new and adapt and be open to the new beginnings to come to your life and learn through these experiences. So, in fact, whenever I see this card in my readings, I really, really love this card because it just means that I have to finish the previous cycle. It's the end, complete end of the previous cycle. And now it's actually all crumbling, but I am willing to invite these new beginnings into my life because I know that the next card after that will be the Star. So when we meet those unexpected changes invited by the Tower, when we didn't expect something into our life, and usually these are unpleasant surprises, we want to instill into ourselves some kind of affirmations which will help us to go through any changes, pleasant, unpleasant, in a really, really benevolent way for us. Normally these are unpleasant changes, of course. So which affirmations can be really constructive for you to set up in your psyche so that whenever you see this card in your tarot readings, you will be inviting it and looking at it from a different perspective, like one door shuts down, another door opens up. So I am flexible and I am resilient. I developed that utter level of flexibility, neuroplasticity, and resilience within me, right? I can see the truth and I am willing to see the truth of the matter happening in front of me. Now I will break down the old toxic to honor the benevolent new. Okay, I will break down the old toxic patterns, the old toxic beliefs, the old toxic relationships to honor the benevolent new relationships into my life, for example. I will learn to adapt and adjust quickly. These type of qualities will allow you to win through the game of unexpected change and to go through this card in a really benevolent and beautiful way. And then guess what? The new horizons will be opened. You will be eligible for this card, the Star.